What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And I know my camera and the way I have everything set up looks a little different. I'm sorry about the mess to that side. Sorry, I just hit the microphone. I get everything straightened out. The first episode of the Deadhead podcast for the new year will be this Saturday, January 21st at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please, if you wouldn't mind, leaving a like on this video, subbing to the channel, and get ready for the episode that brings this podcast back in full swing for the year of 2023. So I'm sorry if I'm looking down. I should be looking up, and I'm sorry about that. But look, let's talk about Megan. I've rambled on way too long. Me and the wife just saw Megan. I know I'm a little bit behind here. The movie came out early January, which I guess technically is still early January. Probably, well, actually, it's probably more middle January now. So I'm a few weeks removed from where everybody else reviewed it. So I'm sorry for that, but I'm here now, and I really want to talk about Megan because I have some thoughts on it and some things that kind of surpassed my expectations. So, with that being said, let's talk about Megan. Megan! I feel like I said that a lot during this film and upon and before watching and then really standing in line. Um, so let me just set the record straight here. I didn't have a lot of expectations going into this film. I knew it was a killer doll. I knew she did some fucked up stuff. That's as far as it went for me. You know, it kind of reminded me of Chucky, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm a big horror fan, not a real big fan of Chucky. I like what it brings to the table. I do appreciate Chucky being there. Like most, even like if it's a horror franchise, I'm not really into. Like let's take Hellraiser for example. I tried watching the first couple. They're not bad movies. They're not. It's not a bad story, and I appreciate it for what it gives to the horror genre. I just don't really care for Hellraiser. I kind of feel the same way about Chucky, and I feel that way about Megan. Well, going into it, I was not really looking into what this movie had to offer, and I knew it didn't really pertain to me or my likes and my interests. But you know, I'm sitting in the theater and I'm watching it, and it has a little bit of a slow build. It's a very slow build to establish characters, establish what's going on. It shows you, you know, the main character, the main actress. She's the aunt, I guess you say you will. She works for this huge toy company, and she's developing all these new and very intellectual like toys. And one is looks like a Furby, and apparently it can talk to you, has its own thoughts and feelings and emotions. And that's pretty much like the precursor to what she's trying to make is almost like a humanoid type of toy that looks like a human, talks like a human, and it has the same like qualities that a human would have, like having emotions and thoughts and being able to answer questions. You know, things that we've seen even in modern era in real life, right? Um, so you know, as you know, you kind of assume you know that things like this go horribly wrong. I'm sorry, I'm had some pop ups here. All that porn I watch. Uh, um, but as you know things start to really like transpire, and you kind of see where things are headed. And so I felt like this film was predictable in a sense where I kind of knew where it was going, but it's not bad. You know what I mean? It's kind of like me. Like I love Scream. I love the killer of Ghostface. But you know what's coming, right? You know that he's gonna kill a bunch of people. You're gonna see a lot of people that you care about, and a lot of people you don't care about die. And then get to the end, and then you find out who the killers are. And they've done that for now going on 6 movies, and it still works. So I'm not saying it's a negative. Um, going into this, I heard it was PG-13. I thought that was going to be a problem for me, and it's really not. It's PG-13, but it definitely didn't really need to be rated R. I think the way they did it, it was effective. Like it had a lot of kills that were more the aftermath. You see what Megan has done, but you don't see her do it. And then the stuff you do see, it's not like super gory. I don't think it needs to be. I've talked about in previous videos that I think the more of what the kill alludes to as opposed to the actual kill, I think is more exciting to me personally. So I was fine with that. Yeah, I would have liked it to be a little bit more bloodier. But I think for what it's worth, it was pretty well. I thought the young actress, the niece, she lost her parents and she has to live with her aunt. I thought she's a good little actress. She reminds me of a younger version of Maya Goth, and Maya Goth has gotten like really big in like the horror scene. Matter of fact, I saw a trailer. I keep hitting the mic. I'm sorry. I saw the trailer for a movie she's gonna be in. and it's another like batshit crazy horror film. And you know, she's established herself to be a really cool person to follow within the horror genre and what she does next. So um, I'm excited for that. But anyway, the younger actress in this film, she reminds me a lot of her, especially like her just her facial structure. And I will say, like, I didn't know this till after watching the film, but she plays Megan a little bit too. Like she does, I guess she's like the body double for Megan, and that's pretty cool. For her to be able to be versatile like that, not only be a young actress, but also to be able to do a little bit of the stunts and stuff that Megan does. Um, yeah, I mean, it for what it was trying to do, I was happy with it. I wouldn't consider it a horror film though. And again, it's hard for me, like, especially for a lot of us. Like, if you watch this, I'm sure you're a horror fan, and it's hard for us to really be scared by these kinds of films because we've seen so many horror movies, we've seen so many slashers and monster films and things like that. That's really hard to have that same level of fear, I guess you could say. So there's not a lot of movies that really scare me anyway. But this movie wasn't really scary, and I don't really think it's a negative. I don't think that's really what they were going for. I would say it's more of a, I guess, a thriller. Although there's not like a whole lot of like thrilling type, nuances and scenes and set pieces and stuff. Because it's just more of it's a doll that's effed up, and I'm kind of confused by, and maybe you guys can give me more of an explanation. Like, I don't know if the doll was screwed up from the start, or when the dog, and there's a scene, and I'm getting a little spoilery here, but I know we're a few weeks out now. But when the dog grabs a hold of Megan and bites her neck, you see like a spark, and I wonder if maybe when the dog bit her neck, it like just screwed something up. Which brings me to like the very end where they, you know, kill her. Not really, but they do. I thought that whole ending sequence was really corny. Like that robot versus robot thing. For you guys that have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. I just thought that was really corny, really, really corny. But I thought everybody did pretty well in this film. It had the comedic timing, like fuck you Holly, like, and you'll know what I'm talking about. That did make me spit out my drink a little bit. But look, all in all, man, it was a decent film. I think that I was talking to my sister about it yesterday. My sister was like, it's not. I don't really consider that horror to me, and I'm like, well, I don't really consider it a horror movie because it's not the way it's structured. It goes more into just telling a story about an effed up doll. It's not. I don't think it was meant to scare people. I think it was just now. I think that if they were to make a sequel, which I'm hearing that it's selling well and that they're looking into that already, this could be a little bit of a franchise. And then I mean, there's only one way this franchise can go, right? If you didn't go really like over the hump in this one with the gore and the violence, the sequel's got to be bloodier. It's like what Randy says in Scream, right? The sequel's got to be bloodier, has to have a higher body count. It has to, right? I mean, it makes sense. And if you go by like every sequel, right, it has a higher body count and way bloodier. It only makes sense for it to be that way. So I think with the sequel and this little franchise they're trying to make, this could be something special. But I wasn't sure if I was going to make this movie review a badass or trash review. I think I'm going to. Kind of just made that like it's a last minute thought here. I'd have to say it's badass. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I didn't hate the movie. I liked all the people in it. The aunt, I've seen her in a few things, and I've really liked her in everything she's been in. I think she's a good actress. I was fine with everybody in this film. I don't think there was not one person that annoyed me. Yeah, and I think it was a good little story and a good start to build a franchise. And to me, like I'm all for doing your own thing, making different shows and movies and different stories that we haven't seen before, even if they are a lot like Chucky and things like that. Because you do have a doll who's going nuts and whatever. But yeah, I think all in all, it's a good film, and I think it's worth it, and I'll be buying it on 4K when it comes out. So anyway, that's all I got for you. I hope this camera setup was pretty decent. What did you guys think about Megan? I know I'm late to the party here, but I just curious to see what you guys think about it. Yeah, it's a good time. To me, like, I'm gonna put it in the badass uh, list that I have here. And I think that yeah, I think it's worth a watch. I think for what it's trying to build and what it could potentially be. It does what it's supposed to do. So anyway, with that being said, let me know what you guys think about it, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.